Alright, today we're going to take a look at the knockoff Transformers Masterpiece Smokescreen. This guy's awesome. Not only is he as good as the Prowl and the Blue Streak, but he has great paint apps, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. But first of all, just look at him. He is a fantastic figure. He looks like a great sports car. There's a lot of retooling that's gone into this guy compared to the other two, and we're going to take a look at that right now. Now, I don't have his box, but it's the same as the other ones. It has the same matte finish as the others. I just couldn't find it, but it looks the same as Blue Streak's here, where it has the same englossed picture of both him as a robot and as the car. You know, it's got the nice silver, foil on the Transformers Masterpiece, and then it's got the picture of him on the back of it with Optimus Prime. But obviously this is all Blue Streak, but it's the same thing for the other box, and it's a really good, really nice box, and I like to use it as the background for some of my displays. But let's take a look at Smokescreen. First of all, let's look at his coloring. His coloring's fantastic. I'm making this today, and today's the 4th of July, and it's really fitting that I'm doing him because he is completely red, white, and blue. One thing people wonder about in terms of vehicles, anything Transformers, when they're knockoffs, what do the paint apps look like? These paint apps are tight. They are completely great. You can see nothing is misspelled. It's all very, very tight looking. You don't see any really sloshing over from one color to the other. It's really nice crisp lines, which is great. Huck disturbance here on the side. It just looks fantastic. Again, you have the Autobot logo and you have the car logo as well. It's nice and aligned. It's not all misshapen or off to the side. And there's a lot of stuff that has been retooled on this guy. So let's bring in Prowl here and we'll take a look at it. So what's been retooled? Well, obviously right away you can tell the front has been. So whereas Prowl has this nice little bumper right here and then just stops underneath there and goes to the undercarriage of the car, Smokescreen, he is a race car. So he's got this nice fat front end here. It catches some air in there and it looks really good. So you can see that's a lot different than the front of Prowl. Obviously Prowl's different here because he has the blinking lights, which obviously don't blink, but it's a big difference between the two. But the other real major difference is going to be back here in the back. You can see here that Smokescreen has a spoiler and his lights go all the way across, whereas Prowl, there's an indentation right here where there's room for a license plate. So that's very different between the two. And also, you can still see there's these little tabs little openings right here where Prowl has his guns that are tabbed in. The guns that come with Smokescreen are different. His are these little guys. And you can see there's a right one and a left one. So they're mirror images of each other. So what they do is there's a little hole that's been drilled on his front end. You can see it right there. That's where these guys go. You can put them right in there like this. So he has his guns in a different spot, and they're different looking guns. So you can see the big difference between the two of them. Now in car mode as well, you can break him open a little bit and then pull this piece out, flip it around, and then carefully massage them back together like this. And then the same as the other guys, as Prowl and Blue Streak, when he's together like this, you can push the gun in to this little hole and then it can stay on him on the top of the car. So when he's ready to go and he's ready to fight Decepticons as the car mode, when he's in his alt mode, that's what he looks like. So he's got some serious firepower coming on the front of his car. And it looks pretty good. I mean, it's nice and tight. And again, when I say tight, I mean all of the connections, all the tabs are really nice. You don't feel any wishy-washiness. The figure's nice and heavy. It doesn't feel like a knockoff. It's just a really good representation. So this is really nice. Again, they got the wheels that spin. They're not rubber, but they do have the nice painted hubcaps, so they're nice and silver. And this guy's really, really a good car. Alright, so let's look at the transformation. The transformation is going to be exactly the same as Prowl over here and as Blue Streak in the background, except for one little difference around the arms. So for all three of these guys, you start by basically breaking them in half. And let's go ahead and push this back down. Alright, so let's start with the legs. The legs are pretty straightforward. Pull them apart, and there's this little inside piece here. Go ahead and pull this piece down on both of them. I like to do both legs at the same time. like that. And now there is going to be a double swivel right here. So you pull this piece away from this, and gotta get your finger in there. You can see here, here's the double swivel right there. You can see it in there. So there's part of it, and there's the other piece. So what you do is you bring this out and pull the whole thing down. And now there's this little blue flap of plastic. Go ahead and push that up. That kind of fills up the space for the leg. Now if you want at this point, you can bring the leg all the way up and push. Go ahead and push this part in like that. And then you're almost done. Bring down the windshield, flip this around, and then you can pull out this little foot stand here like this and put it in the back. So that gives him some pretty good stability. And that's his leg. So we'll do the same thing on the other one. I'm gonna pull it apart. Oh, this piece has to be out of the way. So we're gonna pull it apart, pull it down, push it all back in, windshield down, snap this back in, and now you have this exhaust. You pull that the other way to give him his leg. And let's go ahead and pull the leg down. All right, so those are his legs. What we need to do now is we need to twist his entire, well, let's go ahead and break this piece off first. Pull that off, pull it up, bring this back out a little bit. All right, so then we turn the whole waist, and now we're ready to get started on the top of him. So this is pretty straightforward. Go ahead and bring the hands all the way down. Let's move this in. Hands all the way down, pull them apart off to the side. Leave them there for now. Here you're going to pull this piece down, and we're going to push his head all the way up and through. Now you do need to make sure that his head does not turn to the side, otherwise it does not fit through. Push it all the way, and there you go. You hear it click into the top. So now you kind of have what looks like this. Let's go ahead and flip to the back now. Grab this piece, and let's go ahead and put this down. We're going to have his blasters out. You can put these things back here like this if you don't want to have his blasters on either side of his head, but we're going to do that. So let's go ahead and pull them out. And then you can tab. You can see right here, there's this little tab right there, and it goes into this piece here on both sides. So let's go ahead and push that in. All right. So now what we need to do is we need to do the arms. And the arms are pretty straightforward. You see there's a little wheel well. Push the arms up and into the wheel well. You can bring him down. You can push this little tab goes into this little space right here. So you push that up like that. There you go. And what is a little different in terms of the retooling for Smokescreen and the other guys is he has different way for his shoulders. These are on a ball joint right here. So swivel these all the way until the tire is at the top, and then pull the whole arm down. Same thing over here, tire at the, let's pull that back there, tire at the top, pull the whole arm down. There you go. So he's got a little bit of a different look than these other guys do. But it's nice. It's nice because just with that little bit of extra engineering, you make kind of, it's almost like a whole new figure. And then lastly, pull out the doors, because we want him to look very G1-like. And that's how they rolled back in G1. Their doors stuck out to the side. Okay, so that is Smokescreen. So let's go ahead and take a look at the paint apps of him in his robot mode. So kind of the same as before. We've already seen this. This is just the back of the car. Again, this guy is so colorful. He makes himself look so much different. And I love Prowl and I love Blue Streak, but they just look so much different than him because of the paint apps and the little bits of retooling they've done. They just did a fantastic job with these guys. So I would really suggest get all three of them. And if you want to get the knockoffs, you know, they're $40 on eBay, and they are fantastic figures. There's really nothing in them that can make me tell that they're knockoffs compared to an extra Takara Tomy. But if you want the regular one and you want to pay the people who actually designed them, then I would get the Takara Tomy, but it's about twice as expensive. Okay, so let's see about his head. His head is pretty good. He's got this nice bright yellow horns coming up on the side, on the top of his helmet. He's got a silver face, and he's got some bright blue eyes. The car is so pretty right here. It just makes a really nice looking front end for him. And that's about it. We can see everything else. We pretty much saw all the rest out in the car. So let's compare him now to Blue Streak. Now Blue Streak and Prowl are very similar. Okay, there's really not much difference with them, except Prowl's got the flashing lights on the top of his car, and he has a different waist right here than Blue Streak does. So Blue Streak is the only one that has this waist. In terms of Smokescreen, his and Prowl are identical. So let's take a look at the differences between the two of them. So besides the waist, the biggest one is the arms. You can see here, right here, how the arms are different. Prowl and Blue Streak both have the tires that go in the back, so they're nowhere close like his, whereas his tires are at the top. And because of that, this guy's got a nice shoulder right here, but when you look at Smokescreen, his has an extra joint there to round and turn in order to get this to go up and not just sit the same as the other. Of course, you know, they look different in the front because they have different car sculpts. There's a little bit extra in them, and they just did a fantastic job. I love how different they look, even though they're from the same car. Now, the other big difference is going to be their cannons. So you can see he's got these cannons right here. They got the little silver on the inside, and those are going to fit these guys right here, and this just kind of fits on over and into it like that. So he's got these big old cannons off to the side, and you can see those are pretty cool. However, let's move him off to the side. However, now with Smokescreen, his are different, okay? We see Smokescreens are actually little tabs, and that's because you have these guys that are on him in the car mode, and they have this opening inside. So what you do is you're going ahead and open in here, then slide this into this and push it all the way back. And they can only be on one side. So you can see here, this little tab has to be to the left of that piece. Whereas on this side, let's flip the same thing, it has to be on the right. Okay, so you can now see he's got his firepower up to the side, just like Blue Streak did. And then you can give him his gun as well. Again, you can see it's got the little tab right here, which is going to go straight into his hand, and his hand can close around it. Alright, so let's look at the movement. This guy's really posable. You can put him in pretty much any way you want to. So the head's on a ball joint, you can look up, down, all around. Shoulder has even more posability than the other two, because it's on a ball joint right here. It can go anywhere, all the way up around, doesn't really matter. It swivels here. It can move back and forth at the elbow, and it can actually move kind of there as well. So you can pretty much put the elbow wherever you want it to. His hand is on a swivel as well. All four fingers are attached, so he can, you know, hold something like that. In terms of his waist, we know his waist moves back and forth because you use that for the transformation. These flaps are nice and stiff. You can position them any way you want, if you want to stick them out or straight down. And because those flaps are movable, you can really move his leg in a lot of different places. So you can move that all the way around. It's on a ball and swivel joint right here, so you can really move it all over. You know, if you want, you can even stand him up like this. You can see my hand is not all that sturdy, but he stands right away on it. It's really easy to pose. So you can move his knee back and forth, and you can move, oops, came undone, and you can move his leg back and forth a little bit like this. So he's really quite posable. A really great guy. I like all these. If I had to pick my favorite, I think I would be hard pressed. I really like Prowl, and I really like Smokescreen. I like Blue Streak as well, but I'd have to go somewhere between Prowl or Smokescreen. And maybe Prowl, just because he was in the cartoon a little bit more for the Generation 1 in the 80s. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's see how he transforms from this back into the car, and that's pretty easy. So let's take off his weapons. And since before we started with the back of the car to transform to the robot, let's start with the top of the car to go back and to the back of the, start with the top, his torso to take back to the car. So we can go ahead and pull this out. These guys just need to go back straight like this. Now we want to go ahead and open him up, push this down, push his head all the way through, okay, and then hide the head with this little chest piece. If you want, you can come back now to the top and go ahead and put the canopy in place like that, and it snaps in. And then we just have the tires, and the tires are really easy. You just rotate them with this ball joint until you get the tires where they're supposed to be. Now you can see there's two little tabs right here. That tabs into this on both of the arms. You can see a little hole right there. And then there's a little hole on this part of the arm where this tab from the other arm goes to. So you're just going to stick them all in. Oh, hang on, you got to close the fist. Put that in. Turn this guy around. And you can see that they actually fit really easy. See how easy they go together. And then you just kind of mush them together and then just play around here until they actually hit exactly where they're supposed to. There you go. Okay, so one thing I always forget to do is we gotta pull this back up here. Pull this up. We gotta swivel the whole waist around because it's upside down. There we go. Put that back in. Let's open the doors just because we need some extra room here. And we're gonna go ahead and do the feet now. So the feet is the same as before. We can flip both of these back into place, his little stabilizing legs. And then we wanna pull these pieces out. All right, so here's the kind of tricky, it's not necessarily tricky, it's just not what you would think. So when you push the leg back in, you feel like when you transform him for the first time from the car to the robot, that his leg's all the way in there, but it's not. This is as far as it goes. So it looks like it's not going in, it's fine. What you do, keep it at this distance here, push these little flap back down, and then it's time to do the double joint again. So hold that in kind of like this. Bring this whole piece over. There we go. Sorry, this little flap, you gotta make sure it's down. Sometimes it gets in the way. And then you push it all in, tab in place, and that's great. Last is, if you hear it, that snaps into place. Same thing with this guy, with this side of the leg. Now there's one thing I do have, is I got a little bit of paint wearing right here. I don't know if it would do that in the regular guy, but this guy must rub against the inside of his calf, and I do see a little bit of paint wearage there. So same thing, go ahead and put it there. You gotta push this little blue piece down as far as it can go, otherwise it won't fold in. And then bring the whole piece in, snap it in place, like that. Okay, and last piece, snap that in. So let's go ahead and bring the whole car together. Got to bring these windows up, like this, and let's go ahead and pull out his little gun thing. There we go. Now what I like to do is I'm going to leave the doors open. I'm going to put this whole piece together, snap it again, and now I'm going to fix these windows again. Pull them up, and you can put the door in, and you just kind of pull the car apart a little bit, and then back together, and it slides really nice. Same thing. Let's fix the window. Put this in, pull the whole car, snap back together. And there you go. And that's it. It's a really easy, satisfying transformation. If we want to put his guns back on him, we can. And last but not least, let's take a look and see if he rolls. Because he's a car, so he should be able to roll, right? So, if we put him in like this, there you go. He rolls great. So, this is a review of the Transformers knockoff Smokescreen. Fantastic figure. I have no problem getting it. I think it's really good, and it's exactly what I wanted. So, I would really appreciate it if you'd like this video, if you subscribe to this channel. This is just Transformers videos. If that you're subscribing to, you won't get anything else. And if you have any comments or questions, please put them in the comment and questions section, and I answer within 24 hours usually. All right, thanks a lot, and happy 4th of July.